they were interested, but because I was asleep.
There were people who were watching you go to sleep.
Well, I was wide awake, but there were a couple of interesting things that happened, and this is why I think Fred Thompson sort of missed out on the debate. For instance, there was UNH Senior who asked Giuliani if 3 marriages and a difficult relationship with his children may hurt him socially, hurt him with socially conservative voters, and I thought Giuliani handled the question really well, because this is something that's come up. What do you want from your president? Do you want the perfect family, the perfect wife, the perfect kids?
Oh, sure,
and he said, I certainly haven't lived a perfect life. I'm not running as the perfect candidate for president of the United States. I'm running as a human being who has been very successful as a leader and has had definable results in a situation in which people thought it was impossible to accomplish these things, and I thought he handled that very well.
He's like, about the 4th time he said it.
Really? Yes. And
he's asked it at every debate.
Yes, he is.
And he says, because he's in a very difficult position, because his 2 children don't like him. And one said they wouldn't campaign, so and what he has done is to take the bull by the horns and say, it is true. You know, I have made mistakes. What else can he say?
Well, it's interesting.
It's come up at every debate. The other thing that he was criticized for in this debate is he kept talking about what he was doing in New York City and what he had done. And then somebody said, but it's enough with New York City. What about the rest of the country? So they were kind of picking on him last night.
They were picking on him, and he came back again. He said the 3 frontrunners on the Democrat side have never run a city, a state, or a business. He's like, and that is something to consider. If they had the experience that he had, they would be campaigning on it.
George Bush ran Texas. Duh.
But is the issue...
Any Texans in the audience?
Is the issue about your experience? Because really none of them have any experience when it comes into the country. Running a state is fine. Most don't.
But most don't. Most of the presidents. But most of the presidents have come from governors. Not that many from senators, and very few from mayors.
And have we ever looked this closely at people's? I mean, we do now because there are 500,000 books about, the Kennedys.
We also have more debates than we've ever had.
But do we? Are we looking at something we shouldn't be looking at? No. Should we be saying to you?
We need to scrutinize them, because last time I think we were sold a bill of goods and it was all baloney, and now we want to see the real truth of what they really are like. And the American people are ready to scrutinize this time.
Andrew, I don't know that you can necessarily separate the personal life from the professional life. How do you run your family? Does that indicate how you will run a country?
Does everybody loves Ronald Reagan, right? All the Republicans. No, but excuse me. Ronald Reagan is the hero of the Republic.
Yes.
Okay, Ronald Reagan had a wonderful marriage and had 2 children who were never close to them, who had a very turbulent time with their parents at the time that he was president. Did it affect his presidency?
What bothers me more than anything is hypocrisy. Now, Giuliani was not one of those people who went after Clinton about the affair with Monica. So I'll cut him a little slack. It's when they went after, what's his name? This guy Craig, this guy who was in the toilet. You see him several years ago, and he's like, Bill, you're a naughty, naughty boy. He said it like that. You were a naughty boy.
It happened with all of them. Remember the gigantic man? Remember the gigantic man? What was his name?
What gigantic man?
He was in there during the impeachment here. Henry Hyde?
Oh, yeah. Henry Hyde.
I have to separate him from Henry Hull, who was a horror movie actor.
Okay.
So Henry Hyde ended up having quite a few little things in his closet.